What is happening, YouTube? So today, I kind of had to do this. I'm sorry. Hopefully, I'm not blowing you guys' ears off on this one, but I happened across this video that really made me mad. So that means I have to share it with you, obviously. So we're going to jump right into this. This is a video from JP Sears at Awakening. He also has, let me bring this up here for you. That's his YouTube channel. This is the video that we're dealing with. This guy's been around for a long time. I've been watching him before he was funny. And sometimes he's really not that much funny. It's kind of, but it's more disturbing than funny. So we're just going to jump right into this and see what we got. So bear with me.
Good evening. Is it insensitive to pedophiles to call them pedophiles? Of course it is, because now the left is trying to normalize pedophilia. Welcome to our special report on minor attracted people. I literally want to throw up in my mouth right now. I have to act like it's normal to normalize pedophilia. My life. Do you know how much it is to buy your soul back once you've sold it?
Not sure that you can. Not sure that you can.
Making progress, aren't we? So let's get into it. Leading the charge recently to normalize pedophiles is Alan Walker, an assistant professor at Old Dominion University. Alan went viral, not in a good way, for releasing a video saying the word pedophile should not be used to refer to people who are attracted to children. Yes, God forbid we use a word for its intended meaning. Alan advocates that people replace the word pedophile with minor attracted people, or MAPS. Professor Pedophile went on to explain that the word is stigmatizing to them. Yes, the word does stigmatize them into being accurately identified as what they are.
See, okay, is this a problem with just me, or is it there? And I'm not trying to be insensitive to people's plights in life, but you know, if you are given to addiction, you should not give in to that. You should overcome that. You should try to do better than that. When you have cravings that are not only illegal, but they will probably get you shot, you should overcome that, shouldn't you? I mean, aren't we advanced? Aren't we supposed to be like, no longer primitive? And that's where you should be able to overcome these urges that are clearly not healthy or natural.
A dangerous threat to children. And of course, when you're trying to get away with a heinous crime, it's pretty inconvenient to be accurately identified. In fact, murderers are stigmatized too, aren't they? I think we should demand that people stop using that term and start referring to them as life-taking people. We do need to be more sensitive and inclusive to the murdering community. I mean, what the hell's wrong with us? Alan Walker, whose pronouns are they, them, also wrote a book entitled A Long Dark Shadow: Minor Attracted People and Their Pursuit of Dignity.
Where's my coffee? Oh my God, I forgot my coffee. The Pursuit of Dignity. Let me just, and you don't want to make assumptions about a person. Let me make the assumption that this person does not have children, because I don't know of any drug-addled parent that would allow any harm to come to their child. I don't. You can pick a freaking culture. It doesn't matter where you go. Even in warrior cultures, they were allowed to endure physical harm because the end result was they were going to be a warrior. You couldn't just randomly, beat the crap out of someone's kid. It was in the pursuit of an end goal of being a warrior. And I can't believe I wonder who published that book. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Free speech. Free speech. Yeah, you have the right to say whatever you want, but you do not have the right to take that thought pattern that is contrary to the law. That's contrary. This is contrary to the law. This is illegal. What is being presented here, but it needs to be normalized. Breaking the law needs to be normalized. Breaking moral law, physical law needs to be normalized. Again, clearly spoken by someone who does not have children.
In the book, they advocates for pedophilia acceptance. Who the f is they? Is Alan multiple people? Does he have schizophrenia? I don't think they does. They them their professor claims that pedophile behavior can be moral, and thus the term minor attracted people should be used to be more inclusive to pedophiles.
In what context can an adult having having sexual intercourse with a minor when is that going to how? And I don't think that's a word that this person should really actually be using, because by nature, illegal implies immoral. It became illegal because it was deemed immoral. So you can't say that an illegal act is somehow moral, especially when you are dealing with a minor child who we have determined throughout all of our history is in no state to be making such decisions for itself. But now, because you have a deviant attraction that you cannot or will not get under control, then it has to be okay for all society to accept. So whose kids are we supposed to give up? Who's going to do that? Who's going to give up our kids to satisfy your fleshly desire? Where does this end? Is there an end to this insanity?
I guess they need a safe space to be dangerous to children in. Well, what them doesn't know is there's already a place built specifically to be very inclusive to pedophiles. It's called prison. Check it out. Should be in there already, Professor. After Alan Walker's pro-pedophile video made its rounds on the internet, Old Dominion University placed they themselves on leave.
What? Not everything is going to be accepted by everyone, especially when it falls into the category of violating federal law? I'm blown away. I'm blown away.
All of them. Even though Old Dominion did so while voicing support for them's very impactful work on society. And you should know Professor Minor.
Very impactful. See, there's, I think they used to call that like a backhanded compliment. Yes, very impactful in the fact that it has drawn more attention to this wave throughout society that is somehow trying to normalize pedophilia. And it starts with the island. There we go. That's a PC way to say it. It starts with the island, that exposure, and then we're moving forward. And now this is supposed to be normalized. Instead of it being literally the bane of human existence that this has ever transpired, we have someone who is trying to say, no, this is perfectly normal, and we deserve respect and dignity. We respect dignity for molesting your effing children.
Attracted pedophile people isn't alone in this very progressive movement.
This is where I got sick.
There's many in it.
I'm sorry. This is the point to where I was so I'm not going to say bad words today. I was saying a lot of bad words. And I wasn't even going to do a video on it until I caught this part. So we're not even done yet. Yeah. It gets far more disgusting.
My life. A known figure in the movement, Noah Belinsky, tweeted, pedophiles are essentially a stigmatized group. Certain people get designated.
It's a movement. It's a movement to normalize something that has never been okay. When we established adulthood, what was the difference between an adult and a child? You were not allowed. That's the reason why they were called a child. It's because you weren't allowed to bugger them. Yeah, you dig? See, that's how that works. That's how it works. It doesn't matter what you want. this is unfortunately one of those situations where I have to agree with Ben Shapiro and say your feelings don't matter. I don't give a crap about your freaking feelings. That is an innocent child. That is a child who is not in many of these situations. They're prepubescent children. I'm going to say a bunch of stuff that's going to get the FBI knocking on my door.
As deviants. People hate them. This just in! Protect your children. Also cool to see Twitter even verified his account. Great job, Twitter.
Can I point something out here real quick? Unfortunately, I do a lot of studying of sick and sad things that people have done to each other throughout history. What's with that? Well, see, because what I'm thinking is when you go back to many pagan cultures, they would burn their children in the altars of Molech and many other gods, and then the bones would fall. They would be placed in the hands. See if I can get up here. The idol would have hands like this, and they would place the child in those hands. The thing was on fire. It was a huge furnaces burning underneath of them, and they would place their children in there, and they would completely burn up, and the bones and ashes would fall between in piles like that. These are people who are perfectly willing to sacrifice the innocence of your son, of your daughter, for their pleasure. They have no concern whatsoever for the impact of what they're doing. It is the same. This is rape. This is a person exerting control over another in a sexual manner for gratification. And that is what this is. This has nothing to do with love. This has nothing to do with affection. This is simply pure animalistic gratification that we were supposed to be putting away, right? We're supposed to be above that. We're supposed to be advanced, and we're the top of the food chain, right? That's what it is. We don't partake in things that an animal doesn't partake in. But yeah, this is freaking okay. Rock on with your bad self. Sorry.
Crushing it as always. In the news of other people getting in the pedophilia promotion, a TEDx talk was given by Miriam Heine entitled, "Why Our Perception of Pedophilia Has to Change." Watch.
Pedophilia is an unchangeable sexual orientation, just like, for example, heterosexuality.
Exactly like heterosexuality. Just one minor difference. The minors involved, who anybody with a soul would do everything in their power to protect. Say more, Miriam.
Operative phrase in that sentence is "with a soul."
Right now, most of us feel discomfort.
Yeah, it's a healthy reaction when you hear about violence.
Normal, instinctive reaction.
Vile behavior. Go on.
It is our responsibility to reflect and to overcome our negative feelings about pedophiles.
So, your natural inclination is to want to get a baseball bat. You're supposed to ignore that. You're supposed to ignore your parental desire to save your offspring at any cost. You're supposed to ignore that, and then you're supposed to turn your child into a sexual object for a perv who can't get off with anybody else with the plethora of variety that is out there now, and you have to go after freaking, I said I wasn't going to say bad words, freaking children.
And to treat.
Oh, by the way, in case you didn't notice, that's a female. So this is a female suggesting that pedophilia is okay. All right, so let's not make this a gender issue. This is stupidity across the genetic spectrum.
Them with the same respect we treat other people with.
Pause it right there. If you notice, the good doctor doesn't know how to put on a headset microphone properly. It's supposed to go behind the head. That's why it's got this piece to go above the ear. and then down. She's got hers on the top of her head. But I think her way is more representative of how she thinks about the world, so who am I to judge? I personally look forward to her next TED Talk, normalizing Jeffrey Epstein while discussing his innocence. Now, what are the woke ideologies at play in the minor attracted people movement? Be inclusive to everyone, even if they want to rape your children. Destroy language to hide truth. Not allowed to use the word pedophile anymore to hide the truly terrible meaning it has. Make up new words to create a delusional reality. Minor attracted people are just like you and I. Basically the same thing.
I'm sorry, but this changing the word to make it more palatable, I live with addiction. I live in a family that struggles with addiction. I am not making light of that in any way, shape, or form. But, there was a time when they called a drunk, and they called a druggie. Now, there's people who are doing their best to function in their life and struggle with that. And I have lived through that. I understand where you're coming from. But then there's people who they don't want anything else. They don't care about responsibility. And that's the life that they're going to leave. See, we called them drunks. We didn't church it up by calling them alcoholics. We called them drunks because there's a difference. And this is what we're dealing with here is you're taking something that is perverted and illegal. Did I mention that it's also against the law? Yeah, I think I might have. And you're somehow trying to normalize it, and you think that changing the terminology is going to change what it is. It don't change what it is, okay? It don't change nothing. All it does is change in your mind the justification for it. Words mean nothing. Actions are all that matters. And in this type of action, you are taking, again, zero consideration for your victim. Zero consideration for your victim. The most narcissistic thing you could possibly do is to exert some kind of authority or pressure over another person into an act like that years before they're physically and emotionally ready to partake in something like that. But you don't give a shit about that, do you know? Because it's all about you getting off, isn't it? Oh, yeah, you're good. Yeah, you're a good moral. That's moral. I can see how that could be moral. Sorry.
Thing as heterosexuality. Replace something good with something bad that seems good if you don't think about it. Protecting children from the trauma pedophiles can inflict on them is replaced with seeing pedophiles as good people that don't do anything morally wrong to children. And we can consider ourselves wrong and insensitive for not allowing pedos around our children. Play the victim. Poor pedophiles. They seem so stigmatized when they're called what they are. Did you know?
The victim? The victim? I think you're mistaking who the victim is here.
Cells of the body that can't hold their cellular boundaries are very prone to being invaded by cancer. Yeah. But of course, people having no boundaries against terrible people, terrible ideas, and terrible behavior is good for them. What a journey of progress it's been tonight. In conclusion to our special report, the virtue signaling evidence is clear. The right thing to do is to replace the term pedophile with minor attracted people. Other acceptable terms for minor attracted people are piece of shit,
That's
danger, and criminal. If you thought the left was coming for your children with critical race theory and gender dysphoria, then I'm sure you're very impressed with how they're upping their game by trying to normalize sexual attraction to children. I have no soul, but go save your children. Good night! What's up, my...
All right. So, sorry. Gosh. I didn't mean to say bad words. Yeah. So, unfortunately, this incident has just given a whole group of freaking scumbags. They're going to get a bunch of, I'm sorry, but a bunch of middle-aged, upper-class white women to back up behind them and suddenly start feeling sorry for them. Well, let me see how you feel when it's your 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old son or daughter that they're in a relationship and it is consensual. But yeah, it's consensual, my ass. There is no way. See, the thing is I have spent time with children that are my own, and I have spent time with other children. And I can tell you for a fact, children are not adults. Their minds are not the same. Do you think that when you were that age, you scumbag piece of crap, you were sexually attracted to adults at that age? Is that what you're going to say? Or are you going to misconstrue common attraction that children have with their parents as some kind of sexual attraction? Because that will literally just show how little you know about psychology at all, because you don't have any true psychology to back it up. What you have is a deviant desire to control another person, because that's what that's about. So you call it what you want, I'll call it what it is, and then we'll just have to agree to disagree. All right. Thanks for stopping in, guys. I feel a lot better. I was super stressed before, and now I'm just like stressed. I'm just kidding. It doesn't stress me out. This has been going on for a long time. The fact that it is now even made it to a TEDx talk, that's disturbing. That's disturbing. As someone believing that, who happens to be a professor or whatever university, that's here, neither here nor there. But someone else trying to come in, and she clearly was not a native English speaker. They're coming from this, and there's some trying to justify it. Everything that has been kind of subdued in the media over this pedophilia thing over the last couple, 18 months, 24 months, however long it's been, all that stuff it's not gone away. They're trying to keep it from the limelight because Hollywood and the White House and the Congress and everybody else involved, they don't want you to know that many of them are sick, twisted people. They are trying to present them to be themselves something that they're not. And I believe that the blinders are coming off for a lot of people, and the truth is out there. And eventually, you do reap what you sow. Karma's bitch. So, all right. Love you guys. Thanks for stopping in. Talk to you later. Bye. Wait, wrong button. Okay. Bye.